Get it rolling. So the obviously number Franklin, and the quick setup on the Franklin game as I share the screen right here to go over this game. You know, Franklin was that's not the correct game, right? Let's try that again. I'll move you guys out of the way. But the Franklin was 9-1, and Franklin had you know, a 50-game home win streak that they were in the middle of right here. So obviously that was a big test to go there and get a team that's on that kind of a roll. So that's a little bit of the setup. Get these plays rolling right here and kind of talk through this game. And the way that kind of the flow of the game went is we got down 16-0 early. 16-0 early. We needed to get some kind of a stop the bleeding a little bit. So we get finally after getting down 16-0, we get something going to kind of stop some of the momentum that they had generated right here, Glenn.
Yeah, Franklin was a really good team dynamic on offense, really had some good route combinations, really did some things formationally that were real good. We probably played a little too maybe finesseful to start, you know, trying to maybe toe in the water a little bit. And then as things settled down in the second half especially, we basically just kind of turned it up physically, and they didn't really have much of an answer for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so not a whole lot of great stuff coming out of the gates, but this is one of our first early big plays that kind of, you know, demonstrated that if we executed, we'd be fine. You know, something to kind of just build a little bit of confidence off of, start flipping the field position a little bit, and you know, no surprise, looks like Reed over the middle there.
Yep. Okay, so kind of settling in after giving up those points, and now we're into the I believe the second quarter at this point.
Yeah, just, you know, in-game adjustments, guys feeling the groove. You know, really a brand new opponent from a different conference, you know, obviously not in the state of Ohio, someone we hadn't ever really faced before. You know, I think their quarterback and their offensive production was, you know, top, you know, in the nation. I think the quarterback ended up being a finalist or at least on the ballot for the Gagliardi Award at some point. So, I mean, really just, you know, as any defense needs to kind of have that adjustment period. And obviously as the weather got worse a little bit here, against a pass attack type offense, you know, we took advantage of that for sure.
So I think at halftime, obviously, the weather really turned, and obviously you can see the snow just coming down hard. And this is a third down play in the actually looks like a second long play early in the third quarter.
You know, just, you know, great players, you know, Zach Smirgy and, you know, Justin Tello and some of those guys, Will Bowden, you know, Jason Hunley's out there. Just, you know, just like I said, this group had a great combination of, you know, talent and toughness here. Really good. Heady players, instinctive, you know, tough.
There's one play that was out of order there that I think is important to set up. This is the beginning of the third quarter. Again, down 16-0. We got third down play early, backed up right here, and we get something going, Devin.
Yeah, this kind of sparked the whole deal. Obviously, anytime you get one of the 80-yard touchdowns, but especially if it's where we're at in the game, we go in, we're down 16-0. On top of that, it starts snowing at halftime, which when you're on offense isn't always the best thing to go out looking at when you know you got to score a lot of points fast. Coach Schmitz calls a great little slip screen here to Devin, and he does the rest, get some guys out in the front to get in the way. And, you know, once Devin Price gets in the clear, no one's going to catch him.
I think it was a good example of a little bit of self-scout too, that, you know, here we are week 11, and really we had not really run that play that way with Devin, you know, in that kind of spot. So I think that was, you know, just some good adjustments as a coaching staff to kind of be aware of that self-scout and some of that. So I think we saw this play already. So we'll go to the next play. So I got some mojo going. Got to stop and cut the lead from 16-0 to 16-7.
Yeah, and the difference, I mean, once you get to 16-7, now you're just in a regular football game. So we kind of made up that difference and knew we could start leaning on on Magazine. Franklin had got, if I remember, a big D lineman back that hadn't played since early in the season.
Yes.
They kind of had their guys ready to roll, and once we made the adjustment up front, Magazine did what Magazine does, running the football. Once he got rolling, there wasn't a team out there that we felt could stop him.
I remember that was a good surprise that they held him out the last couple of games prior to that game because they were playing some teams they could handle pretty easily, and they sat that guy, got him nice and rested, and here he is jumping in there in week 11. I think it was he a D tackle or end?
He was a D tackle, or he was, I don't know, he was
Number
the end,
8?
get down the tackle that had moved out to end or something like that. But Logan Ray had a big game this week, not necessarily catching the ball or stats, but we ran this split zone about 10 million times, and he went over there every time and took on that wrong arm and did a great job.
So this cuts it to 16-14. Okay, so then we get back on defense, 16-14 in the late third quarter at this point.
Yeah, there's a really good job defensively, kind of trusting your teammate and not allowing the game to frustrate you. I mean, this quarterback had a quick release. We weren't getting the sacks that maybe we were accustomed to. The offensive line there was pretty decent, but just their passing attack and the quickness of the ball leaving the quarterback's hands. We didn't get frustrated. We had a bunch of PBUs, pass breakups. So really just a credit to the mental toughness as well.
Okay, early fourth quarter, Devin.
Yeah, so, we're right in it now. Little mesh concept here, just get it out quick. And, again, now it's just about putting drives together and cashing in on the opportunities that are there. Good protection up front. And, move the chains. And now we got a drive going. And, as you get down here, again, we're going back to Magazine who springs this one. And just like we've seen in so many of these other games, just – he's a tough guy to tackle and finds a way to get through those first 2, 3, 4 would-be tacklers and get into the end zone.
One thing that's memorable for me, as you look at the sideline, the way our people traveled, our alumni, you see the people on the sideline here, the overflow crowd. It was pretty special.
And again, complimentary football, I mean, the weather conditions kind of turn a little bit, and I think Justin Magazine had more rushing yards than their entire team had rushing. So, the ability to kind of control the clock and, help contribute to a win like that is huge offensively as well as, here defensively, again, just, playing coverage. He's, one of the pass breakups. I think we had about 10 on the day, like I mentioned earlier. So, really just fighting through adversity again. Like I said, this team had a really, really unique combination of talent and toughness.
Well, I think like this play too. I really like this play. It's a formation they hadn't shown a lot of, little stack formation. And Will Tello, they just do a great job of making the adjustment. Earlier, we struggled with that. Then later here, we make an adjustment. Great job by the players.
Yeah, you made a comment earlier in one of the other games about, the headiness of a guy like Eric Wensler. And I think the secondary took pride in passing that torch because, Danny Eller and Justin Tello and, some of those guys, Darnell Bloom, I mean, they were very intelligent football players as well, recognizing splits and understanding the concept and the scheme. So anytime you have that in the back end, it makes the front end have that much more of an opportunity to be successful.
If you weren't here this day and know how bad this weather was, you wouldn't fully appreciate how good this catch is. I mean, this is a hell of a catch by Reed Allen.
Yeah, nice little play action deal up front, with where the weather is. Obviously, everybody's leaning even more towards the run. And then, good ball, good catch, and get us down there to kind of put this one away.
So actually, this was after they had scored to make it 22-21. So we have to answer at this point. So we're down by 1 point, and I'd say about 4 minutes to go, somewhere in that range. We're going to get the ball in the perimeter to Devin.
Yeah, just trying to move it around. Still try to stretch the field horizontally and get the ball to your guys, and then come back and be able to kind of fake off that again a little bit and get the ball back to Magazine, who at this point is just rolling. And you're in pretty good
Sequencing
shape.
plays. One play looks similar to the previous variation of it. Great job. So now we just got to get a stop and put this thing away. We saw that play. It was out of order. So they get a little bit of field position here after a kick return. There's a big stop on third down. So then we're going to have to get one more stop. Got the ball back here, and I think this is a fourth down play. And we get a –
Yeah, Mark Aguilar there out of Florida, just did a really good job. Athletic kid, battled some knee injuries at times in his career, but, just really, pays his dues and puts in the time and comes up huge and gets basically the game-ending kind of sack to seal it.
That, one of the memories of this game, Devin, is to look in the background and see that parking lot where there were some of your friends that were looking for you after the game.
Luckily,
so, for those that were there would remember, we had to walk through their student parking lot away from the locker room to the field. And they were giving Coach Russell a hard time. And if you know Coach Russell, he had a few words for him. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great day. And appreciate what you guys, all the players that contribute to that, all the coaches that contribute to it. And we'll stop right here and we'll go to number 1.